They said it couldn't be done. They said the challenges were too great, the competition too strong, and the dream too big. For years, the world underestimated what was quietly taking shape. But then, in a single moment, everything changed. This is not just a story about politics, economics, or power. This is the story of a nation that refused to bow to doubt, a people who turned every obstacle into opportunity, and a vision so bold it forced the entire world to stop and watch. Today, leaders are rethinking strategies, industries are rewriting plans, and the global narrative has shifted forever, all because one nation dared to believe in itself and act with unstoppable determination. This is India's moment, and the world will never be the same again. There are moments in history that define the direction of the future, moments that are not just decisions, but turning points for entire nations. This was one of those moments for India. With a single bold step forward, India took an action so unexpected, so calculated, that it sent ripples through the global stage. In an instant, the balance of power shifted, and the world's attention was fixed on one place. What makes this move remarkable is not just its scale, but the confidence behind it. India didn't wait for permission, didn't seek validation, and didn't follow someone else's playbook. Instead, it trusted its own vision, acted with courage, and proved that leadership comes from the willingness to take risks when others hesitate. For decades, there were those who underestimated India, seeing it only as a follower in the global race. But with this single action, that perception changed forever. It wasn't just a step, it was a leap, a declaration that India is not here to play small roles in someone else's story. It is here to write its own. This move forced leaders around the world to rethink their strategies, to question their assumptions, and to recognize a new reality. India is no longer waiting for the future to happen, it is shaping it. Boardrooms, parliaments, and think tanks across continents were suddenly asking the same question. How did India just do that? The boldness of this step was not recklessness. It was the product of preparation, resilience, and the belief that progress belongs to those who dare. It came from years of hard work, unity, and the collective strength of over 1 billion people who share a vision for something greater. In that moment, India didn't just advance its own position, it altered the dynamics of the entire world. It showed that power is not simply inherited or gifted by others, it is claimed through decisive action. And so, this bold step forward will be remembered not as a single event, but as the spark that ignited a new era, an era where India stands not in the shadow of others, but in the bright light of its own making. Limits are often illusions, boundaries drawn by doubt, fear, or the opinions of those who could not see beyond them. For years, India was told what it could and could not achieve. Analysts drew charts, critics made predictions, and skeptics spoke with certainty about where India's journey would end. But the truth is, a nation's destiny is not decided by outsiders. It is determined by the belief it carries within. India's rise is proof that no challenge is too big when a nation stands united in its vision. Breaking every limit was not about ignoring obstacles. It was about facing them head on and refusing to be defined by them. From economic struggles to technological gaps, from international pressure to domestic hurdles, every challenge was met not with fear, but with determination. Belief is a powerful force. It turns uncertainty into opportunity, weakness into strength, and dreams into reality. When a nation believes in itself, it doesn't wait for ideal conditions, it creates them. That belief pushes people to work harder, think smarter, and aim higher than they ever thought possible. India's story is one of resilience. It has risen from challenges that could have broken weaker nations. It has learned to adapt, innovate, and push beyond limits others thought were permanent. Every achievement, every breakthrough is a reminder to the world that boundaries are not walls, they are just starting lines for those who dare to go further. Breaking every limit means refusing to accept the idea of enough. It means never settling for what is, when what could be is so much greater. It is a mindset that says we will not stop here, we will go further, faster, stronger. And this mindset is contagious. It inspires the youth to dream bigger, entrepreneurs to take bolder risks, and leaders to think beyond tradition. It sends a message to the entire world that India will not be held back, not by history, not by doubt, and certainly not by fear. In breaking every limit, India has done more than rise on the world stage. It has given hope to countless dreamers, proving once and for all, when belief is stronger than doubt, the impossible becomes inevitable. For a long time, India was underestimated. Many looked at its challenges and assumed they defined its destiny. They saw the problems, but not the potential. They judged the present and ignored the future that was being built quietly, steadily, and with unshakable determination. The world doubted, and that doubt became fuel. Every criticism became a reason to work harder. Every dismissal became a challenge to prove them wrong. Instead of breaking under the weight of skepticism, India transformed it into the strength to rise higher. Turning doubt into dominance didn't happen overnight. It came through decades of persistence, innovation, and resilience. It came from people who refused to accept the labels others placed on them. It came from a belief that progress isn't handed to you. You fight for it, earn it, and protect it. As the years passed, the same voices that once questioned India's ability to compete began to question how it was achieving so much, so fast. Industries began to notice. Economies began to feel the impact. World leaders who once looked past India now look toward it, knowing that ignoring its influence is no longer an option. This transformation is not just about economic growth or global rankings. It's about mindset. It's about showing the world that greatness can come from the very places people underestimate. It's about proving that determination, vision, and unity can turn even the harshest doubts into undeniable success. On the world stage, India has moved from being seen as a follower to becoming a leader, setting trends, shaping policies, and driving change. This dominance is not built on arrogance, but on the quiet confidence of a nation that knows it has earned its place. And the lesson is clear. Being underestimated can be your greatest advantage if you let it push you forward instead of hold you back. Every doubt is a chance to rise. Every challenge is an opportunity to lead. Today, India stands as proof that doubt is not the end of the story, it is the beginning of a greater one. From underestimated to unstoppable, the journey is far from over, but the message is already loud enough for the whole world to hear. For decades, the world wrote its own version of India's story, a version filled with assumptions, stereotypes, and limitations. It was a narrative shaped by outside voices, often overlooking the depth, potential, and vision within the nation itself. But today, that story has changed. India is no longer accepting the role others have written for it. It is holding the pen and rewriting the global narrative on its own terms. In the past, the global stage often saw India as a participant, following the trends set by others in technology, trade policy, and innovation. But now India is stepping into the role of a trendsetter. It is no longer asking, what is the world doing? Instead, it is asking, what can we create that the world has never seen before? This shift is more than symbolic. It is reshaping industries, redefining diplomacy, and inspiring millions. Whether it's advancements in technology, bold economic strategies, or groundbreaking environmental initiatives, India is showing that leadership means setting the pace, not trying to catch up. Rewriting the global narrative means challenging the old perspectives and replacing them with a vision rooted in strength, unity, and innovation. It means proving that a nation can rise not by imitating others, but by expressing its unique identity with pride. It means that instead of reacting to global changes, India is now initiating them. The world is beginning to take notice. International leaders are adjusting their strategies, businesses are seeking partnerships, and media outlets are shifting their tone. The same voices that once defined India through limitations are now defining it through possibilities. This transformation is not accidental. It's the result of deliberate choices, forward-thinking leadership, and the collective will of a people who refuse to settle for good enough. It's the result of a belief that true progress comes from originality, not imitation. Now, when India moves, the world responds. When India speaks, the world listens. And when India creates, the world follows. This is the power of rewriting the global narrative, taking control of the story and turning it into something no one expected, but everyone respects. History has proven time and time again that true power is not measured only in wealth, armies, or technology. It is measured in unity. A nation may have resources and talent, but without a shared vision, those strengths remain scattered. India's rise is living proof that when people stand together for a common purpose, no obstacle is too great and no dream is too distant. Unity is not the absence of differences, it is the ability to rise above them. India is a land of countless languages, cultures, and traditions, yet when it comes to building the future, these differences become strengths rather than divisions. This diversity, woven together by a shared vision, creates a force that is unshakable. When millions of hearts beat with the same dream, their combined energy becomes unstoppable. This is the kind of unity that transforms ideas into action, challenges into triumphs, and goals into achievements. It is the unity of farmers and scientists, teachers and students, entrepreneurs and laborers, all contributing in their own way to the larger vision of a stronger, self-reliant nation. In moments of unity, the impossible becomes inevitable. Roads are built faster, innovations emerge quicker, and change happens on a scale the world cannot ignore. Every great leap India has taken has been powered by this collective will, the belief that together we can do what alone we cannot. The world often underestimates the power of unity because it cannot be easily measured. You can count armies, calculate GDP, or rank technological advancements, but you cannot put a number on the strength of a nation that stands as one. That is the power India carries today. And this unity is not just about achieving goals, it is about protecting them. When people unite, progress is not left vulnerable to outside forces or passing challenges. Instead, it is defended fiercely, nurtured, and passed on to the next generation. This is why India's unity is its ultimate power. It is the invisible force that turns vision into reality, potential into progress, and dreams into destiny. Pressure has a way of revealing the true strength of a nation. For some, it causes cracks. For others, it forges steel. India's story is one of turning immense pressure into unstoppable progress, of transforming every challenge into an opportunity for historic growth. From economic hurdles to geopolitical tensions, from technological gaps to global competition, India has faced situations that could have slowed its rise. But instead of yielding to the weight of these challenges, it has used them as fuel to push forward. Each difficulty became a test of resilience, and each test became a stepping stone towards something greater. When the world expected setbacks, India delivered breakthroughs. When conditions seemed too hard to overcome, innovation and determination filled the gap. Whether it was adopting new technologies, reforming policies, or strengthening industries, every challenge became a chance to accelerate change rather than resist it. This ability to adapt is not accidental, it is rooted in a mindset that sees problems differently. Where others see obstacles, India sees opportunities. Where others hesitate, India acts. This mindset has allowed it to turn economic pressure into industrial growth, population challenges into demographic advantage, and global scrutiny into a platform to prove its capability. And the results are visible. New industries have emerged, Global partnerships have strengthened, and India's influence has expanded far beyond its borders. The very pressures that once seemed like threats have instead become catalysts for transformation. The lesson is clear: progress is not about waiting for perfect conditions. It is about making progress in spite of the conditions. A nation that can grow under pressure is a nation that cannot be stopped, because every challenge becomes another reason to improve, innovate, and lead. India's journey shows that pressure does not have to break you, it can build you. It can sharpen focus, unite efforts, and accelerate progress to levels the world did not think possible. And so, what the world once saw as limits have now become launchpads. What was once a challenge has become an advantage. This is how India has turned pressure into progress, and why its momentum will only grow stronger from here. The future of any nation is written in the dreams of its youth. They are the thinkers, the innovators, the leaders of tomorrow, and when they believe in their own power, the destiny of an entire country can change. India's rise is more than an economic or political story. It is a message to its young generation that courage and vision are the most valuable forces they can possess. For too long, many were told to play it safe, to follow predictable paths, and to aim within limits. But the new India is showing its youth something different, that the world belongs to those who dare to imagine it differently and work tirelessly to bring that vision to life. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to act despite it. The young minds of India are being reminded that bold action, even in uncertain times, is what sets leaders apart from followers. Whether it's starting a business, pursuing groundbreaking research, or standing up for a cause, every courageous choice adds to the nation's momentum. Vision is the other half of the equation. Without vision, courage is directionless. Vision allows the youth to see not just what is, but what can be. It pushes them to innovate, to challenge the status quo, and to create solutions that improve lives on a massive scale. India's progress is inspiring the next generation to dream bigger than ever before. Every new achievement tells a young person, if our nation can rise against the odds, so can you. This is not just motivation, it is proof that transformation is possible. And when millions of young people are fueled by both courage and vision, the impact is unstoppable. They become the driving force behind technological revolutions, social reforms, and global leadership. They become the ones who take the torch from the present and carry it into a future even brighter than today. The message is simple but powerful. The destiny of a nation is not fixed. It is shaped every day by the decisions of its people, especially its youth. With courage to act and vision to guide them, the next generation will not just inherit the future, they will design it. There are moments when a single nation's actions send shockwaves far beyond its borders, moments that force the world to stop, watch, and reconsider its assumptions. India's recent rise is one such moment. What once might have been overlooked or underestimated has now become impossible to ignore. For leaders across the globe, this is more than just news, it is a wake-up call. For decades, the narrative about India in many international circles was limited, often defined by its challenges rather than its potential. But in recent years, and especially now, that perception has been shattered. India has stepped into the global spotlight not as a supporting player, but as a central force influencing economics, technology, diplomacy, and culture. This shift has left world leaders reevaluating their strategies. No longer can India be treated as a market to be tapped into or a partner to be engaged only when convenient. It is now a driver of change, known architect of global solutions, and a voice that must be heard in any major decision-making process. This wake-up call is not just about power, it's about respect. It's about recognizing that India's decisions carry weight, not only for itself, but for the entire international community. From trade negotiations to climate policy, From defense strategies to technological partnerships, India's influence is reshaping the way the world operates. And this didn't happen by accident. It came through consistent growth, bold leadership, and the determination to chart its own path rather than follow someone else's. It came from proving, time and again, that India is capable of not just keeping up with global changes, but leading them. For other nations, this is a reminder that the global balance is shifting. Old assumptions are being challenged, and new realities are emerging. Those who adapt to this change will find opportunity. Those who ignore it will be left behind. India's rise is a message to every leader. The world you thought you knew is evolving. The voices shaping tomorrow will not be the same as yesterday's, and India's voice will be one of the loudest. True strength is not borrowed, it is built. For too long, many nations have relied heavily on the resources, technology, and approval of others to define their progress. But India's recent transformation tells a different story. It is the story of self-reliance, of building power from within, of crafting a future that does not hinge on external permission or dependency. Self-reliance does not mean isolation. It does not mean closing doors to the world. It means standing strong enough to choose partnerships from a position of strength, not desperation. It means that even in the face of global uncertainty, a nation can continue to grow because its foundation is solid, its systems are resilient, and its people are capable. India's rise in this regard has been intentional. Investments in domestic industries, advancements in homegrown technology, and a renewed focus on local talent have turned the country into a hub of innovation. From manufacturing to space exploration, from pharmaceuticals to digital infrastructure, India is proving that it can create, build, and lead without leaning on others to pave the way. This self-reliance is more than economic, it is psychological. It is the confidence that comes from knowing that progress is not at the mercy of someone else's decisions. It is the ability to set your own pace, choose your own direction, and control your own destiny. And the world is watching. Nations that once saw India as dependent now see it as a competitor, a partner, and in some cases, a benchmark for what is possible. This shift has not only boosted India's global standing, but has also inspired its citizens to dream bigger, knowing that their country's capabilities are limitless when fueled by determination and creativity. Self-reliance is also a shield. In times of global crisis, whether economic slowdowns, supply chain disruptions, or political instability, nations that depend too heavily on others often stumble. But those who have built their own strength stand tall. India's growing independence ensures that it is prepared not just to survive challenges, but to turn them into opportunities. The rise of self-reliance marks a turning point, the moment when India moved from asking, "Can we?" to declaring, "We will." And in that declaration lies the power to shape its own future. Every great achievement in history began the same way, as a dream in someone's mind. At first, that dream is invisible to the world. People may doubt it, question it, even laugh at it. But the size of the dream has never been the real challenge. The true test is the will to chase it, to fight for it, and to never give up until it becomes reality. India's journey sends a clear message to every dreamer. Nothing is too big if you have the courage to pursue it. Decades ago, the idea of standing as one of the world's leading powers seemed distant, even impossible. But dreams are not bound by present limitations. They belong to those who can see beyond the now and believe in what could be. Chasing a dream is never easy. It demands sacrifice, patience, and an unshakable belief in yourself. There will be moments of struggle, times when progress feels slow, and days when giving up seems tempting. But the difference between those who dream and those who achieve is persistence, the refusal to stop moving forward, no matter how steep the climb. India's rise is living proof of this. It faced obstacles that could have broken its momentum. It endured years of doubt from the world and moments of uncertainty from within. But instead of shrinking its vision, it expanded it. Instead of letting challenges weaken it, it turned them into stepping stones towards something greater. To every dreamer, this is your reminder: you do not need permission to pursue your vision. You do not need perfect conditions to start. What you need is the will, the relentless drive to keep going when the world says stop. Your dream may be personal, it may be for your family, your community, nor even your country, but the principle is the same. The size of your dream is limited only by the size of your determination. If a nation can rise from being underestimated to becoming a leader on the world stage, then you can rise from wherever you are to wherever you want to be. The path is open. The only question is, will you chase it? And so, as the world watches, one truth becomes impossible to ignore: this is only the beginning. The rise we see today is not the final chapter, but the opening page of a far greater story yet to be written. India has proven that strength is not given, it is built. That limits are not walls, but starting lines. And that dreams, no matter how impossible they seem, belong to those who dare to chase them with relentless will. To every listener, this is your moment to take the same lesson: that your vision, your courage, and your persistence can change not just your life, but the world around you. You may not be able to control where you start, but you can always control how far you go. The message is clear: the future does not belong to the biggest or the richest, it belongs to the boldest. And in this new era, India stands as living proof that when a nation believes in itself, nothing is beyond reach. The world has been awakened, and the best is yet to come.